Good morning, guys. I hope you're having a great day. It's Peterbilt Mike here, taking a day off. Yes, that's right. With all the shortages in parts, I got nothing to do. I got some trucks ready to be delivered, but they need to get PDI'd. I got some that need to go in the body shop, some that need to be swapped out at rig out. And I was sitting there twiddling my thumbs because I don't have a clear picture as to what's happening second, third, or fourth quarter. We got our first quarter wish list sent in for our allocation, and that's it. Some people get trucks, some people don't, and at the end of the day, I can't go sell trucks because I got nothing to sell, and I can't even order 2023 yet. So I took a day off. That's right, I took a day off to do firewood and show you guys how I heat my 2,400 square foot shop and my 2,400 square foot house. So I guess that's like 5,000 square feet in total. And look at Low and Slow with these wheels. Looks so good. Although I got red wheels on the front and I need to polish the tanks. And I haven't put the hubcaps on yet because I want to run to town a couple of times, or at least once, and then retorque the wheels because I put new studs on and I don't want my wheels to fall off. So rather than put the caps on, take them off, put them on, take them off, take them on, I'm drive a little bit first, then retorque them just to make sure my studs are seated. And anyways, today's vlog is how I heat our house and shop. So this is it. This is my wood boiler. We've had it since we moved in here. It was put in 2005 or 2006. I think 2005. We bought this place in 2006. So originally my boiler was actually sitting right in front of that shop bay door. There was actually lines that run from the house underground to it, and they were insulated terribly. Yeah, the down to -5, it would actually melt the snow. And I'm like, I don't think this is supposed to be the way it goes. We never had a wood shed. I discovered quickly that just leaving your wood out and letting it get snowed on is a real bugger, especially when you get lots of snow. If it's stacked, it wasn't so bad because then at least you know where the pile is. But if, like, one winter I bucked it all up and I'm like, I'll get to it. And then it snowed and I was like digging it out and you're using a shovel and it's the pits. And then, you know, I've unloaded wood there. I've bucked wood all winter long to feed it. I've tried cottonwood, doesn't burn worth beans, but I had it, so I burnt it. There's like no BTUs. Right now I'm burning birch, and that's my preferred wood. It's a hardwood. It's got lots of BTUs. It's best if it's dry. But with the wood boiler, it's kind of a pig on wood. If I was burning in the house, there's no way I would burn wet birch because, you know, that's when you get the creosote and stuff. But in this thing, if it gets creosote, can burn it off. But yeah, so this is my wood shed. I built it a couple years ago now. The fella that built my shop actually did it for me. I already had the posts. So he came out, he sunk the posts. We built it properly with trusses. Of course, the reason why it's so tall is because I already had these posts. And rather than cut the posts off to make it lower, I'm like, I'll just make the roof taller, because one day if we don't burn wood, all I have to do is take that tin off and I got a nice tall cab-over garage, if you know what I'm talking about. But that's probably a long time coming before that ever happens. So right now, I use treated 2x6s to shore up the walls to stack the wood up to against. The reason why I used treated was so that, you know, wood, when it's drying out and it's moisture, it creates fungus and stuff. And so I figured the treated would be better so it wouldn't affect it. And even though, you know, a regular 2x6 in this configuration would probably be fine, I like the color of the treated. So I don't have to paint it. It's got a nice color. It's all symmetrical. You know, and symmetrical, I mean, they all look the same. I don't know. English isn't my best language, so I don't even know what my best language is, but English isn't my strong suit. Gosh. So yeah, I didn't add these supports the first time, and the walls actually bowed out a bit. I was surprised at how much the wood settles. So this summer I added these 2x6 uprights, put a topper and a bottomer on. Topper and a bottomer. But yeah, like literally I'll get the ladder out and I'll stack wood right well, up until it's hitting the tin, so that the top row is just below the tin, and then I'll like mound it up. I don't know that I'm gonna do that this year because I did that at first, and one, it's a bit of a bugger to get up there. I mean, it's not terrible, but the worst part is you don't want it to fall down and fall on your head. So if you've got a block of wood that's 10 feet in the air, it's a little dangerous, but I can fit a pile of wood in here. And part of the reason for that is it's right beside the stove. So you grab your wood here, walk over, put it in the stove. And this is remote control switch for lights from Costco. These are actually lights from when we had our animals. And I've got one up here as well. I didn't turn it on. And then I got these solar motion lights from Costco. I love Costco. And I was like, you know what? It'd be handy to have a motion light that just came on. So when you walk in here, the light goes on. And these are solar. So I thought, yeah, try it out. And you know what? They actually work pretty good. So, and this is it, the boiler. You can see the water temperature right now is at 175 degrees. I think when it drops down to about 170, it'll kick on and go up to about 185-ish. It's kind of an old school boiler. They make newer, higher tech ones. It's a Wood Doctor, and that's it. Right now we're burning scrap pallets, which you guys probably already know about. And it's perfect for this time of year when you don't need a lot of wood to keep the heat in. But you know, you want to keep the chill off the house and that. So if my shop calls for heat, then it really gets pumping, because technically this boiler is a little too small for the shop and the house. But actually I better turn those lights off. Oh, which one is it? This one. There we go. Yeah, so technically the boiler is a little too small for the shop and the house. But when I built the shop, I insulated the bejesus out of it. So I've got 2x8 walls. I've got, what is it, R28, I think, insulation in the walls. And I've got like R60 in the ceiling. I put so much insulation in the ceiling to the point where they said adding any more is not going to help. I use bad insulation first, because they say the bat is better for getting into all the nooks and crannies. And then on top of the bat, I blew it in. So I've got double the protection. So it's always good to have twice the protection. So yeah, shop, it's very well insulated. Boop, 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 boop. I'll just hang that there, put that there. And yeah, like right now, I haven't heated the, well, I mean, there's the warm pipe coming in the shop, but there's my thermostat. Right now, the shop is 51 degrees. 51 degrees, I leave the dehumidifier going all year round. When you bring a vehicle in and it's snowy, it's amazing how humid it gets in here. So it's nice to keep things dry. But there's my wood splitter and power saw. Now that's my bar and chain. My power saw was acting up, and then it quit oiling, and I can't remember if I've logged this already. But so this other power saw is Dad's power saw. So I asked if I could borrow it because I was going to buy a new one, and they were closed that day, which I think I've logged, but I can't remember. So anyways, you know what? I'm right before 9 years old, but just like a kid always does, you bum stuff off your parents. So anyways, I'm gonna put my bucking pants on, my hard hat on, my face shield, my work boots, and let's go buck some wood. Because that wood shed isn't gonna fill itself. Although if it did, that would be really awesome. is I like to I like to haul, well, I don't know if it's what I like to do, but it's what I do. I use these old DEF totes, and this is actually the inside of one of these totes, and I just cut the front end open. This one I lag bolted it to a wooden pallet, and then I buck all the wood down here to keep the mess in the field, throw all the throw all the bucked rounds into the totes, haul them up to the woodshed, and then as we unload the totes, if there's a big one or one that's a little unmanageable, we split it. If it's small and is manageable, we just stack it, and you know, it seems to work good. These DEF totes work fantastic for hauling firewood, and what I might try is loading them half full so I can lift them, because like right full or 3/4 full, it's everything my little tractor can do to lift them generally, and it's probably a little hard on the front end, certainly hard on the tires, but I mean, it does it just fine. I usually have it just off the ground, you know, same old story, load it up as much as you can get away with. But I might, if we have a frosty morning, I might load up all the totes I have. I've got 4 more. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means I've got 5 of these plastic inserts that I made. I might load them all up, and then one frosty morning bring low and slow down here, load all the totes up so it's like one trip out, and then that way it's less ground disturbance. Because last year, like if I got to run back and forth beside the shop, with how wet it's been lately, it just turns to mud and makes a mess. But I also don't want to get low and slow stuck, because anyways, yeah, talk about it. Let's get to it. Well, I tell you guys, starting with the new bar and chain makes all the difference in the world. I highly recommend it. For the 30 bucks or whatever it is for a new chain, oh, so much nicer. Dad's saw is a lot lighter than my saw too, which I think helps with the fatigue. But oh, it's kind of perfect bucking weather. It's not raining, and the sun isn't shining, so it's not really hot, but it's also not cold. It's about, I don't know, probably 7 degrees, or maybe, I don't know, 7, 10 degrees, something like that. It's a little bit too cold to take the jacket off, but maybe not quite cold enough, or maybe I should. I don't know. I'm probably steaming. Definitely works up a sweat, and you know, I shouldn't be huffing and puffing, but I'm a little out of shape. I know, you're a little surprised. Like, Mike, gosh, I think you're in pretty good shape, but yeah, need a little workout. That's one thing about being a salesman. Don't get a lot of physical activity. That's what I like about the self-loader. You know, you get lots of exercise, but yeah, so now what I'll do, I'm gonna go to the other side, buck as much as I can buck, and then hand bomb these into the tote, and basically fill up all these totes, then kind of clear away so that I got a clean slate to work with. Because one thing I'm very cognizant of is when you got all these bucked ends and you're trying to climb all over the pile, you want to have sure footing. You don't want to trip and cut yourself, which is why when I'm doing this, steel-toed boots, bucking pants. So these are bucking pants in case you hit your leg. You're not going to cut your leg because there's nothing worse than a power saw cut. Except maybe, you know, a shark. Actually, even a shark's probably a cleaner bite than a power saw because a power saw tears the flesh. So we're not going to let that happen. Got our hearing protectors with our face shield, and yeah, this saw works good. You know what? Maybe I should see if I can buy this soft adder, or maybe I'll just, you know, give it back to him and buy myself a new saw, because these new saws, man, they work good. Woo! My old saw is big and heavy. It's a, heck, is it a 25 AV25 or something like that? And this one's an M250. 250. So maybe mine's, I don't know what mine is, but it's bigger. But yeah, so anyways, take a little drink of water, hydrate up, and get back at her. And you know, it's a little bit eerie being back here, because let me show you. Back here is where all the critters come. So like in the spring when the bears are active, actually all the animals start down there because there's like a seasonal creek down there. It's dried up now, but in the spring there's water running, and they all come out of the bushes over there. We've got bears, moose, I've seen lynx, haven't seen a cougar in our yard, but I know they're out here. Coyotes, lots of coyotes, bears. We actually had a moose out there last week, I think. Tucker saw them, and they like to walk along here. And you know what? Sometimes you see the grass is beaten down in spots, and yeah, it's like, wonder what that was. Maybe it was a deer. We have deer too. Deer and moose don't bother me. Coyotes don't really bother me. Bears, as long as you make lots of noise, they kind of do their own thing. As long as you don't get stuck between a mama and a cub, which, knock on wood, we haven't. Well, I mean, you just don't want to do that. But them big cats, I tell you, cougars are a spooky animal because they stalk you, little buggers. But and they're out here. Oh yes, they're out here. Like maybe half a click away, there was one crossing the road, and actually one of my customers, he lives down on Upper Mud River Road, and he saw two on his trail cam in his yard. So I should get a trail cam. That'd be kind of cool. See what's out here. But anyways, keep at it. You guys are probably tired of listening to me talk away, talking about wood, cats, and dogs. Well guys, my battery went dead. So we just kept on bucking and filled up all the totes to about 3/4 to where I think I can fill them up, or pardon me, where I can lift them up to put them on the deck of low and slow. So I'm gonna come back in the morning when it's frosty. Either needs to be dry or frosty to go through there, and then I'll just bring the tractor down, load all these totes on low and slow, and just drive it up. So then I only have to drive through there once, rather than make multiple trips with the tractor like I used to do. Which, you know what, it's not a big deal for the tractor, but it's probably good just to do it once or twice. And yeah, go dump this round of I'm tongue-tied. Go unload this round of wood, split it, set up the splitter in the front of the woodshed, split it, stack it, and come back and load up another round of totes. Do it again, and that's probably gonna be all this wood. And yeah, ordered another truckload, but it's got to come when it's frozen or dry to put it here. But I might end up putting it up around the top driveway. But it makes such a mess. What if I clean it up right away? And it's shorter to drive it. But anyways, just like that, I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully it's frozen so I don't get stuck. And just like that, we're back. It's tomorrow morning. It's -1 and foggy. It's not quite as frozen as I was hoping for. In fact, the ground's just a little smushy still. But I'm gonna give her a go. What's the worst that can happen? I make a bunch of ruts again, and they're there for the next 14 years. But the wood's got to get up there. So you know what? We're just gonna give it the good old-fashioned college try. Of course, I didn't go to college, so. Anyways, we're gonna give it the good old redneck try. When in doubt, just do it. It's supposed to warm up this afternoon. It's worst case scenario. I'll just leave the truck down here until it dries out. Oh, we're gonna make it. It's gonna make it. Think positive, Mike. It's gonna make it. Well, it's all loaded up. Actually looks pretty good. Now we just have to make sure we can get out of here without sinking out of sight. It'll be fine. I really feel like a farmer. It's pretty dang handy though, having this low and slow truck. So now we just have to get up around the corner by the shop. And I'm thinking my best bet is to hit it hard and fast. Get up your speed, take a run at it, so then that way if you start to spin, you can just back out of it, back out of it, back out of it, and hopefully we'll be able to come out of it without making too much of a mess. Famous last words. Oh yeah, we got this. Confidence, Mike, confidence. In the words of good old Willie Nelson, you gotta know when to give her. You gotta know when to give her poop. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna back up though, because I want a good run. It's one thing about having a self-loader. We got ourselves into lots of places where it was like you got one shot, and there's nothing quite like the stress of you got one shot, Mike. Even helped for a horse logger one time, and he pulled me out with his horses. That was a little odd. And I'm gonna go in low range. I'm not gonna go in deep reduction because I want to get some speed up. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, hang on guys. This could get a little bumpy. Yeehaw! You're a little bit, whoa, it's a little greasy. There we go. Keep her pin low and slow. Yeah, like butter. No worries. Why was I ever concerned? I love it. I'm not gonna go inside and have a coffee and let this fog burn off. You know what? This truck is just awesome. I'm telling you, like, low and slow has probably been one of the best investments. Second to the tractor. Oh, we did sink a little bit. Yeah, low and slow is just awesome. See what kind of a mess I made. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. And you know what the beauty is? I only did this once. And with the ground as soft as it is, granted, I couldn't do this all day. But yeah, I made a little bit of ruts. But that's where keeping your speed up is so important. Keep your speed up so that when you hit this soft spot, if it starts to spin, you can back out of it and roll. And having the grass actually gives traction. And look at that. My tires left nice little tire marks. Yeah, that's pretty soft. Glad I made it. And I mean, I'm gonna have to make another trip, but the beauty is it's supposed to be 12 degrees this afternoon, so hopefully it dries up, burns off. And if it clears up, it'll be colder. We get a little more frost, but hopefully I only have to do this like once, maybe twice more to get out of there. This isn't near enough wood to fill the woodshed, so yeah, I might get wood dropped up there if the weather doesn't cooperate, because I like putting it down in the field when I get a truckload of wood, just because it keeps the mess out from beside the yard. But the problem with that is this here. So guys, you got to help me out here. The family wants a cat. Simon passed away, was that a year ago?
Almost a year.
Almost a year ago. He came with this house. He lived outside. He was a messy cat. And they want to replace the cat. Piper's allergic to cats, and she wants a cat. And I tell you what, they're wearing me down. All I can say is they're going to have to do a whole lot. Maybe that's what I should do. They can fill the woodshed, and then they can get a cat. So, I got some more tin. So, of course, it's a heavier gauge. So I'm putting more tin on this side so that if a spark comes out of the chimney and hits the side of the building, that it goes and hits tin instead of my treated boards. And I put some here for a windbreak. But like dummies, I got the wrong gauge. So, I mean, it's nice looking tin. It's from Westman Steel. It's just that it's thicker and it doesn't bend as well. So it probably won't cut as well either, but I don't really need to cut it, so I'm just going to stick it up and screw it. And then open my gate, because my gate, I just screw it shut, and then I can flip the whole front of the woodshed open, and we can start bucking and splitting, and well, actually I already bucked, so just need to split, stack, repeat. Well, that's one day in the books. Technically 2 days, because I bucked a whole bunch yesterday, but yeah, the woodshed's filling up. I've got the rest of my pile is all split. I don't know if you can see it down there, but it's all piled up on low and slow, and we're just waiting for a little bit of frost or a little bit of dry weather so that I don't get stuck right there and make it any worse than it already is. But yeah, we got a good start in the woodshed. So start bucking up some pallets, eat up all those, and save the good wood for when it's minus 30 and we need all that. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm pooped out. Gonna go have a hot tub and do it all over again tomorrow. Well, not got wood, but go to work anyway. So anyways, guys, take care. Thanks. Anyways, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.